Okay, welcome you guys for the sequencing problem tutorial. So here we will going to solve second type of sequencing problem. Here we going to sequence n jobs to 3 machines. So first I'll read out the problem. There are 5 jobs of which must go through the machines A, B and C in the order A, B, C. The processing time are given in the following table. So these are the 5 jobs and these are the 3 machines and the timings were given in this table. So in this problem we have to determine the sequence for 5 jobs that will minimize the total elapsed time. So first we will learn what is the meaning of the problem and then we will solve this problem. So first understand the meaning of the problem. So here in this type of problem there are 3 machines were given. So here there are 3 machines, that is A, B and C. These are 3 machines and there are 5 jobs. So these 5 jobs will be getting processed on these 3 machines. So we have to sequence these 5 jobs in a such a way that the total time required to complete all the 5 jobs should be minimum as much as possible. So that is the meaning of the total elapsed time. So first we will solve this problem, and in this type of problem we have to convert this 3 machines. Here there are 3 machines are there. So we have to convert these 3 machines into 2 machines. So for that we have the 2 conditions. So the conditions are, these are the 2 conditions. First condition is the minimum time on machine A should be greater than or equal to the maximum time on machine B. So what is the meaning of this is, the minimum time on machine A, first we'll see the minimum time on machine A. This is a machine A, the minimum time is 6, and what it says is maximum time on machine B. So here in this column the maximum time I can find it here is 6. So here I'll write the minimum time on machine A is 6 and it should be greater than or equal to 6. So we can have the condition which we want to satisfy this. So first condition is satisfying. So let us move with the second condition. Now let us check for the second condition. So second condition here is the minimum time on machine C should be greater than or equal to the maximum time on machine B. So in the problem, this is a machine C column. We have to see the minimum time on machine C. So the minimum time on machine C is 6, the minimum time is 4, and the maximum time on machine B is, the maximum time here I can find is 6. So this 4 is not greater than or equal to 6. So here what we can see is there are 2, first condition is satisfying but the second condition we are not satisfying it. So in that cases we can have, like we can convert the 3 machines into 2 machines. Either one condition should be satisfied. If both the conditions are not satisfying, we have a different method here. But here in this 2 method, one method, that is one condition is satisfying. So in that cases we will go for converting 3 machines into 2 machines. Now in that case we are going to convert in this such a way. Now what we are going to do is we are going to add the first 2 machines timing and we will make a new machine G, and one more machine is a H. There we are going to add the timings of machine B and machine C. So next you are going to see now next you find a table where you find 2 machines, not 3 machines. Okay, now we'll see that table now. Now here is a table which you can find there are only 2 machines G and H. Now what we can see in this table is we have converted 3 machines into 2 machines. Now we're going to sequence this as you follow the procedure for 2 machines. So now we will go for now sequencing. Now in the sequencing what we need to do is, first you need to find out the minimum time in this 2 machines. So for that reason the simple method I want to tell you is you need to make a 5 boxes. these numbers is equal to the number of jobs. So there are 5 jobs. I'll be making 5 blocks here. Now if the minimum time finds on machine H, you need to sequence from this side. And if the minimum time, if you find it on machine G, and then you're going to sequence from this side. So first we'll check the minimum time among G and H. So by looking at this, so I can see the first minimum number, the timing is 8. So this is for job number 3 and this is for machine G. So the sequencing is from left to right. That is, I'm going to sequence job number 3 here. So once I sequence job number 3, what I'll do is I'll delete this from the table. The next one is you need to check for the next minimum number. So the next minimum number in this table is 9. And 9, you can see it here. Here is also 9 is present. Here also 9 present. And here is also 9 present. And these 9 number, you can see it for machine H only. So our sequencing will be from, that is from right to left. So our sequencing will begin from this end. Now question comes, which will come at the last. So in that cases, there is a one simple rule. I'll just tell you that. So here this 9, here 9 and here 9. So you have to look the next number for this. That is in machine G, what is the value of this? Here you find 13 for this 9 and for this 9 you find 10 and for this 9 you find 15. So what you can do it for this is, now for 9 this is a maximum number. So I'll first allocate maximum number here. So I'll write job number 5 at last since it requires the maximum time. So for this we need maximum time. So next, once I allocate this, I'll delete job number 5 and next one is here 9 is there, here is 9 is there. I'll look for this side and this side. Here I find 13 is a maximum number. So I'll allocate that number after the job 5. So once I allocate this, I'll delete this and the next minimum number is 10. So that 10 for job number 4 it is. So I'll allocate that number after job number 1. So I'll delete this once I sequence this. And the last one is remained is job number 2 and we have only one box left it over here. So here I'll fill with the job number 2. So this is my optimum sequence. Next you see how you want to find out the elapsed time. Okay, now to find out elapsed time, we need to make a table with the calculated sequence. So our sequence is 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. So you note down the sequence in this order. Now next one is we have a machine A, machine B and machine C. For each machine you should write in time and out time. And for all the machine like machine B in time, out time and machine C in time and out time. Now here you're going to find out elapsed time now. Now for that you need to write down in time and out time of each job on each machines now. Now first job that is going to enter into the machine A with the in time as 0. So job number 3 on machine A, it's going to enter with a 0 as a in time, and job number 3 on machine A will see how much time is required. So for that I'll again go back to our problem. So job number 3 on machine A, it requires 6 hours. So it enters with a 0 and it's going to exit at 6 hours. Now after completing the third job, the second job is going to enter machine A now. So job number 2 is going to enter after the completion of job number 3. So job number 3 is going to finish at 6. So after 6 hours only, the job 2 is going to enter machine A. So my in time for job number 2 is 6. Now we'll check what is the time that is required for job number 2 on machine A on the problem. So job number 2 on machine A, it requires 10 hours. So it enters at 6 hours and we need 10 hours to process on machine A. So when it get exit, so the total time will be 16. So now after completing the job number 2, the job number 4 is going to enter onto the machine A. So job number 4 is going to enter the machine A after 16 hours. So the in time for job number 4 is 16. And job number 4 on machine A, it requires 7 hours. So it's going to exit. So we need to add this 7 hours to this 16. So I'll get 23 as my out time for job number 4. Like this way I want to fill the remaining jobs like 1 and 5. Yes, I have filled the in time and out time for the remaining jobs, that is 1 and 5 in this way now. Now we'll move ahead with machine B now. So we will going to write the in time and out time for machine B for all the jobs. Now in this case, the job 3 has finished its time at 6. So once it finished on machine A, it will move to the machine B with the in time as 6. So here I am going to write 6 here. Now machine job number 3 on machine B, how much time is going to require? We will see it on the given problem. So job number 3 on machine B, it requires 2 hours. So I want to add this 2 hours to this in time. So I'll get the out time for job number 3 on machine B is 8. So after it complete on machine B, it's going to move to the machine C. So machine C we'll later see it. We'll first finish it off for machine B part now. Now after this, we're going to write for the job number 2 on machine B now. So here the job number 2 has finished its work at 16 hours. So after 16 hours, it's going to enter to the machine B with in time as 16. So here we have a 8 and here we have a 16. Whichever the maximum number you find, that you write it here. So 16 is the maximum number that I'm going to write it here. So job number 2 on machine B, how much time is required? We will see it here. So job number 2 on machine B, it requires 6 hours. So this 6 hours I am going to add it to this 16. So I'll get the total time as 22. Now we'll write for fourth job now. Fourth job on machine A, it has completed its timing at 23 hours. Now we're going to write the in time for this. So once it's going to complete on machine A, it will move to the machine B now, job number 4. So here we have a 22 and here we have a 23. So which is the maximum number here? That is 23. So that number I'm going to write it here as an in time for machine B. So job number 4 on machine B, how much time is required? We will see it again back to this problem. So job number 4 on machine B, it requires 3 hours. So this 3 hours I'm going to add it to this in time. So 23 plus 3 is 26. I'm going to write it as a out time now. Next we will write for job number 1. Job number has finished its work on machine A at 31 hours. So we should write the in time for machine B for job number 1. So here we have a 31 and here we have a 26. What I've said is whichever maximum is there, that you write it here as in time. So 31 is a maximum number. Now that I'm going to write it as an in time for job number 1 on machine B. Next we will see what is the timing for job number 1 on machine B. So job number 1 on machine B, it requires 5 hours of processing time. So this 5 hours I need to add it to this in time. So when I add 5 hours for this 31, so I'll get 36 as the out time. So at 36 hours, the job 1 is going to get processed on machine B. Now the last one, so last job is a 5th job. So 5th job has completed its processing at 42 hours. So it's going to enter into the machine B with the in time as, so here we have a 42 and here we have a 36. So maximum number here is 42. So this job number 5, it's going to enter to the machine B at 42 hours as an in time. So we will see now what is the timing required for job number 5 on machine B. So job number 5 on machine B, it requires 4 hours. So this 4 hours I should add it to the in time. So when I add 4 hours for this, I'll get 46 hours for this machine B for job number 5. Now last we're going to see it, the timings for machine C for all the jobs now. So first we will write it for first job, that is job number 3. So job number 3 has finished its work on machine B at 8. So it's going to enter the machine C after 8 hours. So that is, I'm going to write in time as 8. So job number 3 on machine C, how much time is required? We will see it here. So job number 3 on machine C, it requires 8 hours. So I need to add 8 hours for this. So the total time for this is 16 hours. Now we will write the job 2 timing for machine C. So it enters at A at 6 hours and it's going to exit at 16 hours for machine A. After it get completed, it will enter to the machine B at in time as 16 hours and it will finish it off at 22 hours on machine B. Now here we should write what is the in time for job number 2 on machine C. Here we have a 22 and here we have a 16. So whichever the maximum number is there, that you write it as in time for job number 2 for machine C. So the in time will be 22. Now I should write what is the out time for job number 2 on machine C. For that, what we need to do is, for this in time I should add the processing time of job number 2 on machine C. So we will see what is the timing required for job number 2 on machine C. So job number 2 on machine C, it requires 9 hours. So I should add this 9 for this 22. So when I add this, I'll get the timing as 31 hours. Like this way I should go on filling this. So let's move with the fourth job. Fourth job has finished its work on machine B at 26 hours. Here we have a 26 and here it is a 31. So which is the maximum value here? 31 is a maximum value here. So it enters at 31 hours. Now we'll see what is the processing time for job number 4 on machine C. So job number 4 on machine C is, it requires 6 hours. So I'll be adding 6 for this. So the total time will be 37 hours. Next we will write for 1 and 5 now. For 1, it has completed its processing time on at 36 hours and it's going to enter to the machine C with the in time as, here we have a 36 and here we have a 37. So which is the maximum value here? So 37 is a maximum value. So this is my in time for job number 1 on machine C. Now we'll see what is the time required for job number 1 on machine C. So job number 1 on machine C, it takes 4 hours of processing time. So we should add 4 hours for this. So when I add 4 hours for this, my timing will be 41 hours. Next we will write for the job number 5. So job number 5 on machine B, it has completed its processing time at 46 hours. Now it's ready to enter to the machine C with in time as, here we have a 46 and here we have a 41. So which is the maximum value here? That is 46 is my maximum value. So this is going to enter at 46 hours as a in time. And machine 5 on job number C, it requires 5 hours of time. So I should add this 5 hours for this. So when I add 5 hours for this 46, I'll get my out time as 51. So all the machines, all the jobs have get processed on all these 3 machines. And my final timing will be 51. So this is my total minimum elapsed time. So this 51 hours is required to complete all the 5 jobs on all the 3 machines. Okay, now we've done with the finding out the total minimum elapsed time and we got as 51 hours. And the last one is we have to find out what is the idle time here. So idle time is nothing but what? In that time your machines will be idle. It is not going to process anything. So for this we have a formula like for machine A, the total minimum elapsed time minus the processing time on machine A. So the total minimum time as already I have calculated as 51 hours and that is subtracted by the processing time on machine A. So the processing time for machine A is, we need to add this. So the total addition will provide me as 42 and for machine B, here only I'll write it, the total addition will be 20 and this total addition will be 32. These are the total processing time for machine A, B and this is C. So first we are finding the idle time for machine A. So for machine A it is 42. So I'll subtract the 42 from 51. I'll get the 9 hours as the idle time for machine A. Now if I want to write it the idle time for machine B, so again the formula will be remain same. So minimum elapsed time is remain same as a 51 minus the processing time for machine B now. So machine B required 20 hours of time to complete. So I'll subtract the 20 from this. So I'll get 31 as my idle time on for machine B. Similarly, if I write C, 51 minus the processing time on machine C is 32. So if I subtract 32 from 51, I'll get 19 hours of idle time for machine C. So this is how we need to calculate the minimum elapsed time and idle time for the problem of second type of the sequencing, where we're going to process the n number of jobs on 3 machines.